In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on December 7, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Golden State Warriors versus Chicago Bulls. The Golden State Warriors visit the Chicago Bulls on Sunday at the United Center in a regular season matchup. Golden State comes in short-handed. The injury report lists Stephen Curry, Seth Curry, Draymond Green, Al Horford, and Jimmy Butler III is out. Chicago is also missing players, with Trey Jones, Isaac Okoro, and Kevin Huerter ruled out. The Warriors leaned on a second unit that did enough to beat the Cavaliers last night, but they now move into a spot with no rest day and a more urgent opponent. The Bulls look hungry, and they are starting to get healthier even with a few names still on the report. The missing pieces shape how Golden State plays. The group on the floor lacks its usual leaders, and the note that their defense revolves around Curry shows how much they rely on him at both ends. With Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green also out, they lose 2 key defenders and veteran voices. The remaining roster does not have many young players who are ready to carry the load every night, which is why Kuminga's 30-point outburst in this game comes as a surprise rather than an expectation. Chicago, on the other hand, profiles as a steady team in the Eastern Conference. The Bulls have a young core that can compete, and Giddey is filling the box score with numbers close to a triple-double on average. In the paint, Vucevic gives them a solid presence at center. Around him, they have enough perimeter help to match up with what is left of the Warriors' rotation and to handle the spread against an injury-hit Golden State side. It is still hard to put full faith in either team with so many moving parts, yet the current situation points toward Chicago holding a slight edge in this matchup unless Golden State gets unexpected injury news and brings back some of its missing players. As our first pick for this matchup, the Chicago Bulls to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Steph Curry is out of this game, and Jimmy Butler could be out as well. Even if Butler suits up, his current role does not focus on pushing the pace. He serves as a smart defender and veteran wing, which mirrors what Draymond Green brings when he plays. Without Curry, Golden State has no reason to run at a high tempo. They can slow the game, rely on half-court sets, and try to grind out possessions. Chicago's situation points in the same direction. The Bulls are young and trying to take wins from stronger opponents, and they do not need to invite chaos in this spot. If they can keep the game close into the late stages, they have every reason to value each trip down the floor and work the clock. A slower pace on both sides fits the personnel on the court, and Curry's absence pulls a big scoring engine out of the game, which makes a lower final total more likely than a shootout. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total picked. Los Angeles Lakers versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Los Angeles Lakers visit the Philadelphia 76ers at the Wells Fargo Center on Sunday night. Los Angeles comes in short-handed again, with Marcus Smart still out, while LeBron James carries a questionable tag. Philadelphia has already ruled out Kelly Oubre Jr., and both Joel Embiid and Paul George appear on the report as questionable. Los Angeles is coming off a rough 126-105 loss to Boston on Friday. That game came on the second night of a back-to-back, and the Celtics controlled it from the opening tip. The absence of Luka Doncic showed in that matchup, as the Lakers could not match Boston's energy or shot-making for 4 quarters. Doncic is no longer on the injury report, which points toward a return for this trip to Philadelphia. LeBron sat out the Boston game with a left foot joint issue, and his status for Sunday remains uncertain. At this stage, the offense runs first through Doncic, and his presence matters more to Los Angeles than LeBron's, as strange as that sounds given LeBron's history. Recent meetings with Philadelphia have not treated the Lakers well. Against the spread, they sit at 4-10 in the last 14 head-to-head clashes. The 76ers have taken 8 of the last 10 outright in that span, which underlines the matchup problem. On the other side, Philadelphia has been hard to pin down from night to night. With Paul George and Joel Embiid listed as game-time calls, the available roster can swing in a big way. That uncertainty makes their profile noisy, but the recent form is solid, with 3 wins in a row and 4 victories in the last 5, lifting them into the 7th seed in the East. Tyrese Maxey scored only 12 points in the win at Milwaukee on December 5th, yet he still leads all scorers in the Eastern Conference and ranks 3rd in the entire league at 31.6 points per game. Outside of Maxey, there is not a single obvious strength that defines this group, which is part of why results can swing. Philadelphia's most recent outing showed how deep the rotation can go. In that 116-101 win over the Bucks, Quentin Grimes came off the bench and hit 22 points, while Paul George added 20 points with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Maxey had the quiet 12, but the bench still outscored Milwaukee's reserves 53-28, which highlights how many different players can carry a scoring load on a given night. That depth matters against a Lakers team that leans hard on star power. Both LeBron and Doncic are dealing with physical issues, even if Doncic is expected back in uniform. Los Angeles needs those two on the floor to reach its offensive ceiling, and any limitation shifts more responsibility onto the supporting cast. The Sixers bring real offensive punch of their own. They average 117.4 points per contest and hit 36.2% of their shots from three-point range, strong enough to keep pace even when Maxey does not put up a huge number. Their defense adds another layer. Philadelphia ranks 7th in opponent three-point percentage at 34.2% and does a good job taking away clean looks on the perimeter. That lines up in an interesting way against a Lakers squad that just allowed Boston to drop 24 made threes in that 126-105 defeat. Los Angeles has shot the ball very well overall, with a 50.9% field goal mark that sits 2nd in the league, but gives up 116.5 points per game and sits near the bottom in opponent shooting metrics. Injury uncertainty still hangs over this matchup. Luka Doncic is the most important piece for Los Angeles, and his schedule has included trips across the Atlantic and short nights of sleep around the birth of his child. Even if he suits up, that travel can weigh on his legs and make it harder to hit his usual line of 35.3 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 8.9 assists. The Lakers will need a sharp defensive effort to handle this opponent. Maxey came in off 3 straight games with at least 35 points before that quieter night in Milwaukee, and he now faces a Los Angeles backcourt that has struggled to contain the ball on the perimeter. If he finds a rhythm, he can pressure their guards all night, and the recent bumps in the Sixers' defense over the last couple of weeks still sit within a broader picture that favors their ability to string together stops more often than the Lakers. With George finding more rhythm, Grimes giving a lift from the bench, and Maxey able to erupt at any point, Philadelphia can bring a mix of scoring options and structure on defense that stacks up well if the Lakers remain short-handed, or if Doncic feels any drag from his travel. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both teams have shown stretches where defense and pace matter more than fireworks, despite the star power on each roster. Philadelphia just held Milwaukee to 101 points in that 116-101 victory, which speaks to how well they can protect the arc when their 7th-ranked three-point defense at 34.2% is locked in. Los Angeles, on the other hand, just gave up 126 points to Boston and continues to allow 116.5 points per game, which sits 17th in the league. The Lakers still struggle to chase shooters off the line when rotations break down, and the offense loses punch when LeBron and Doncic are anything less than fully healthy. The Sixers sit in the top 10 in opponent shooting, while the Lakers sit 2nd in overall field goal percentage on offense, but only 27th in rebounding. That combination hints at a game where extra possessions do not pile up, clean looks stay limited for stretches, and both sides have to work in the half court more than they prefer, which tilts the script toward a slower, more grinding style rather than a free-scoring shootout. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Utah Jazz. The Oklahoma City Thunder visit the Utah Jazz at the Delta Center on Sunday night in a meeting where both rosters are missing key pieces. Oklahoma City will be without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luguentz Dort, Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, and Isaiah Joe. Utah has ruled out Georges Niang and Walker Kessler. Oklahoma City comes in on a long heater. They just picked up a 14th straight victory by handling the Dallas Mavericks at home, 132-111. Shai Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did his work in 3 quarters, finishing with 33 points before sitting the rest of the way, and the lead at one point reached 32 points. The level of control in that game fit the pattern of their recent run. The Thunder continue to sit near the top of the league, both in results and in margin of victory. At 22-1 straight up, they move through the regular season at a pace that invites talk about record-level win totals. They are still perfect at home, and on most nights they grade out as a clear favorite regardless of opponent. These two teams have already met once this season, and that game leaned hard in Oklahoma City's favor. The Thunder put up 144 points on the Jazz and won by 32. That prior matchup showed how punishing their offense can be when they spread the floor, move the ball, and get downhill. The current meeting comes with a different context though, because several of the players who drive that success will not suit up. The injury list for the Thunder is long for this one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, and Isaiah Hartenstein will all miss the game. That removes their main offensive engine, key point of attack defense, shooting depth, and a big body in the middle. The remaining group still has talent and depth, but it is not the same version that has been dominating opponents. Utah comes in from an ugly night at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks scored the first 23 points of that game, and the contest felt decided inside the first 6 minutes. It turned into one of the roughest showings of Utah's season, both in effort and in execution. That kind of loss can sting, especially on a big stage. One advantage in this league is the quick turnaround between games. The Jazz do not have to sit with that performance for long. They get a fresh chance at home in front of their own fans. That building can be a real source of energy, and the roster tends to feed off that support. Utah has been respectable at the Delta Center. At 6-6 straight up at home, they play more stable basketball in their own arena than on the road. Their offensive numbers there are strong, with a top 10 offensive efficiency in home games. They move the ball, space the floor, and have multiple players who can create shots. The problems often come on the other end, where they give up plenty of points and struggle to string together stops. Oklahoma City still ranks as one of the deepest groups in the league. Even when important names sit, they roll out lineups with size, skill, and shooting. They have shown many times that they can plug in role players and get strong minutes, which keeps them competitive even when the rotation is not fully intact. For this matchup, the market continues to show huge respect to the Thunder. They open as double-digit favorites on the road while missing several starters and key rotation players. If this game were in Oklahoma City, that kind of number would feel easier to justify because they have not lost at home. On the road, and without so many important pieces, the gap between these teams shrinks. The Jazz, for their part, are a young group that often plays with more confidence at home. They respond well to pace, early offense, and crowd energy. Against a short-handed opponent, they have enough scoring to create stretches where they look like the better side on the floor. If they start well and avoid digging an early hole, they have a path to push the Thunder for most of the night. From a numbers point of view, Utah has been a workable team to back against the spread. They sit at 12-10 against the number this season, which reflects a group that often outperforms expectations even if the straight-up record is not impressive. 6 of their 8 wins have come at home, which lines up with their stronger play in that environment and supports the idea that their performance level rises in that building. The current spread leans toward Oklahoma City with a lot of respect for their body of work. That makes sense in a broad way, but here the number looks heavy given the injuries on the Thunder side and the relative health of the Jazz. This version of Oklahoma City, without Shai and several of their best defenders and shooters, is not the same unit that has been steamrolling teams. The most likely script has the Thunder still strong enough to extend their win streak and leave with a comfortable result on the scoreboard. At the same time, the gap between the teams for this specific game looks closer than the line suggests, and Utah has a reasonable chance to hang around, play to their crowd, and keep the final margin in a manageable range. As our first pick for this matchup, the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full-game side pick. Utah prefers to push the pace, and Oklahoma City can function in that style without trouble. The Jazz sit at 101.6 possessions per 48 minutes, tied for 5th in the league. The Thunder come in at 99.6 possessions per 48 minutes, which places them in the middle of the pack, but they can speed up when the game calls for it. In these conditions, the Jazz will look to run off misses and makes, attack early in the shot clock, and use quick decisions to avoid facing a set Thunder defense. That approach fits their personnel and gives their shooters more space. When their spacing holds and their first actions work, they can pile up points in a hurry. Oklahoma City takes care of the ball at a high level. They value each possession, limit live ball turnovers, and avoid giving easy transition chances. Utah has the opposite issue. The Jazz often turn the ball over, and those mistakes turn into quick points going the other way. That kind of turnover profile feeds the opponent's fast break and adds extra possessions to the game. The Thunder should look to punish every sloppy pass and every loose handle. Their athletes run the floor, and their spacing in transition creates high-quality looks at the rim and behind the line. Against a Utah team that already allows plenty of points in its half-court defense, transition breakdowns become even more costly. Recent meetings between these two teams show a pattern of scoring. The over is 8-1 in the last 9 games between Oklahoma City and Utah. When these teams match up, the pace and shot quality on both sides tend to create high totals. Utah's home games also slant the same way. The over is 13-3 in the Jazz's last 16 contests at the Delta Center, which reflects both their strong home offense and their shaky defense. With Utah pushing tempo, Oklahoma City comfortable joining an up-and-down game, and both defenses vulnerable in specific ways. The setup points toward another matchup where points come in bunches, both in transition and in the half-court. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.